All right. Welcome to Most Poppin' Knicks YouTube channel on the net. I am the objective fan, straight out of Kings County, New York City's finest. And you know the vibes, y'all. Man, welcome to another level-headed Knicks Talk. Technical difficulties, but we back rocking and rolling. You know it wouldn't be right without technical difficulties. But I'm your host, man. We're going to have a very action-packed show. I will be continuing what we was talking about last week, which was my predictions. And then also, if we have some time, I want to talk about some things with Julius Randle as well. But I see some people in the building early. Salute to all the mods in the building early. Salute the Knicks will be champs 25-26. What's good, man? What's going on? Hopefully you guys had a nice holiday weekend. Some of you guys, y'all were here with me on Monday on Labor Day when I did the live with my father. That was a good time. We were talking about the Mitchell Robinson snub on the Hoops type top 30 center list. So, go check that video out if you missed it. But yeah, we had a really good Labor Day. Hopefully your Labor Day was good, even though it's back in the work week now. Things are very slow. But it's September, y'all. It's September. We're getting close to the season. I'm gonna have some announcements I'm gonna be making on the channel soon. We're getting close to that 1,000 subs, y'all. So if you're not sub, hit that subscribe button, man. Hit that like button. Tell a friend. Let's get to 1,000. I'm trying to get to 1,000 before the season starts. So if you're not subscribed, definitely hit that like button, man. Salute to you and to all those guys who already subscribed. Let's see. Salute to Sam. Oh, yeah. So salute to you, Sam. It's okay. I know you've been busy. It's been a holiday weekend. Oh, thank you for for checking out the video with my pops too, man. Definitely, I do appreciate that, man. Good to see you on the live, level-headed Knicks Talk. We'll be rocking every Wednesday, so you can count on me Wednesday nights at 9:30, as long as my computer doesn't crap out and crash out. But definitely salute to you, Sam. So I'm gonna be continuing my list from last week. If you didn't see last week's show, I just started a video talking about my 10 expectations for the Knicks this upcoming season. Just to do a quick recap, I said that I think the Knicks will win 55 wins. I'm going to boost it to 60. A lot of you guys was like 55 is too low, but the first expectation was 55 wins. The second expectation was 2 All-Stars. I think I might even up that to 3 All-Stars. And I feel like if we make good on the first prediction, which is 60 wins now, I think that 3 All-Stars is possible, especially if Mikal Bridges balls out the way I know that he's capable of balling out, right? What else I said? I said no less than the second seed. That was the third prediction. I would love to get the first seed. But to be fair and objective, we know the Celtics are going to be very formidable. But I said that I don't expect the Knicks to get nothing less than the second seed. I also said I think we could get 2 All-NBA defensive teamers. That was the fourth prediction. Of course, we said the 4 candidates for that award, guys that are capable of actually winning that award, would be, of course, there's 2 starting wings, which would be Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby. But then Mitchell Robinson and Josh Hart are also guys that could, possibly contend for that award. And then the fifth thing I said last week was a number 1 or number 2 in defensive rating. So, and I think that one for sure probably might be the easiest thing to reach, because I think this team defensively is going to be so incredible, especially under Coach Tibbs and what he wants these boys to do. I really think that the defense will be effective. So, thank you for the prayers too, by the way. Knicks will be champs 25-26. I really do appreciate that. Because I restarted my career, I had so many windows up. Let me see if I can get my windows back, because we definitely going to go into research mode too, especially if we need to, especially when I get to the rest of these expectations. But I hope you guys are having a fantastic Wednesday night. Typically during the season, the Knicks play on Wednesday nights, but since they're not here, we're going to be rocking out, pretty much doing these lives in the meantime. We're getting close, though, definitely getting close. So because of the late start, I'm going to jump right into it. Let me get this set up on the back end. So we're going to jump into number 6. Okay, so now number 6 is something that I think all you guys are going to enjoy. And I think all you guys, no matter where you stand, right, when it comes to this Knicks, how you feel about these Knicks, I think you're going to like this next one. So the next one is the Knicks will beat the Ops. And these Ops are our heated rivals, the Pacers, the Heat, or the Sixers, maybe even 2 of those 3 teams in particular. We're talking about the Ops, okay? The teams that we hate the most, right? Our heated rivals, our dislikable rivals, right? We're going to beat those 3 teams, at least one of them, in a playoff series. I think maybe even 2, especially depending on how the East shakes out. That's just how I feel. I know you guys probably are going to feel, have the same sentiments. We owe Indiana, especially after what they, did to us last year. How I'll start this is, I'm going to jump into research mode. Now, how I start this is by saying this. In the Eastern Conference, we have a lot of, a lot of potential, right, in the Eastern Conference. But let's keep it real. We honestly will believe that there are 8 teams contending for a spot. Let me see if I can pull the standings up right quick. Because basically, if you know what happened last year in the standings, I think it's going to be the same thing, very similar. But I do think there might be a little bit of changes, right? So right now, the top 4, I don't have it the same, as you guys can see on the screen. Boston number 1, Knicks number 2. I'm riding with that. Then I got the Sixers as number 3. So instead of the Sixers being the 7th seed like they was last year, and we saw them in the first round, I'm going to bring the Sixers up to the 3rd seed, and I'm going to slide Milwaukee down to the 4th seed, right? Then I got between Cleveland and Orlando for that 5th seed. Maybe even Indiana might could slide in there. I kind of like how Indiana looks, and then I had to really think about it. I didn't get a chance to really do a NBA like breakdown, like really looking at the teams and really doing like a deep dive on the standings. But I kind of like what Indiana has, and I wouldn't be surprised if they finish in at number 5. But right now, let's just keep it. I got the Magic and Cavs battling for the 5th and 6th spots. Then I got the Pacers, and then I got the Heat. So those 8 teams, to me, right, are how I feel the East playoffs, picture is going to look. Now, it can change, right? It could be some fluctuations. I think the top 4 is safe unless Indiana does something crazy. Cleveland, I got to see it because I feel like there's some discrepancies within their offense with the 2 ball-dominant guards. I got to see how they look. And then Evan Mobley, to be honest, Evan Mobley should be the second option on that team. After what I saw in the playoffs last year, I don't think they're going to use him right, and I don't like him and Allen. So the Cavs got to work on a lot of things before I even think about them and as a lock to even get into the top 4 or even to be the 5th seed. That's why I got it as a toss up between the Magics. But the Pacers could very well jump up too, depending on how those guys look. I do like Benedict Mathurin too coming back. So that's just how I see the East. So let's say Magic and Cavs, they at the 5-6. Pacers, 7th seed Pacers. I think I wouldn't be surprised if the Knicks and the Pacers battle it out in the first round. Now, you got to understand something, y'all. We owe this team, right? They lead the playoff series now. It was tied 4-4. Now they're up 5-4 with last year's win. And remember, they also won the series before that, which was the Melo and Tyson Chandler that year. When the Knicks went in there with a hobbled Amari Stoudemire. They had Paul George, David West, very big lineup, Roy Hibbert. And, they beat us then too. So we owe Indiana. And I think that, based on some of the other expectations that we had, that we felt for this team, if this team is hitting on all cylinders, right? We're top in all NBA defense efficiency. We have the 2 NBA, all NBA defenders, and we go into the playoffs a little healthy or definitely healthy. I don't foresee us being that banged up again. Yeah, you might have 1 or 2 guys out because it's a rough 82-game season. But in that first round matchup against the Pacers, and I'm just saying optimistic, fan, because right now we don't know what's going to happen realistically. This is just a prediction. I'm going to say the Pacers are healthy, Knicks are healthy. So going into the matchup, Pacers healthy, Knicks are healthy. I'm giving the Knicks the edge. Why? I feel like Mitchell Robinson will do a better job than that other guy that went to OKC. I'm trying not to say his name. On Turner. Because remember, Turner was putting in a lot of work. I think the defense on Turner will be a lot better. I also am curious to see how, and I know a lot of you guys wasn't feeling this, the small ball lineup will look against that team, right? Where Randall goes to the 5. But I'm going to put, because remember, they're picking and popping. Turner does roll, but then if they roll, we could sort of, kind of blitz it a little bit and the rotation on the perimeter if the ball swings. But I'm really worried about that pick and pop because Miles Turner was killing us on the pick and pop. And I think that if you try, OG Anunoby, just mixing it up, doing some creative things on the defensive end to sort of, shift them. But I think if we're healthy and they're healthy, I think we have the better squad. Let me see what some of you guys are saying. Oh, yeah. Oh, Knicks will be champs. I'm sorry. I just now saw your message about the prayers to the families, to those who lost their lives at Eastern Parkway. I think one of the persons lost their life on Eastern Parkway. Definitely prayers to those people. And Knicks will be champs. Knicks on the collision course with the Sixers. So you got Knicks number 1. Okay. If you have Knicks at number 1, that changes everything. But that's how I see the Pacers series going. So, but here's another thing too. So to follow up on what Knicks will be champs is saying, if you have the Knicks as the number 1 seed, that means, right, that the Heat will be more than likely, as I got it, and it has Knicks will be champs has it. I'm pretty sure, even though I don't see 7 and 8, but I think that the Heat would be the first round matchup. And we owe them. You already know the story with them. They beat us as an 8th seed, little payback because we beat them as an 8th seed. But they also beat us in the Melo years too. I believe it was in the first round during the Melo years. They beat us. And I think that was the year when Amari Stoudemire, pretty much broke his hand on the fire extinguisher. These moments are just crazy. As Knicks fans, we have to go through it, but we owe them. And I think that once again, and I think the difference too with Miami, I think on our side, you might not have a Mitch or you might not have an OG Anunoby. Very possible, right? We don't want it to happen, but we know it's very possible. Those are our 2 guys that kind of get hurt. I may talk a little bit more about that in future predictions. But the Heat, it's hard for me to say that if they were healthy when they're never healthy. The Heat is never healthy in the postseason, right? We've seen Hero was out when they played against us, and then Jimmy also tweaked his ankle. But then last year, Jimmy was out. right? And then remember, the years before that, they had key injuries, right? And some people use that as an excuse, especially against Boston, why Boston was able to go to the finals that first time Boston went to the finals with Tatum and Brown. So, those guys are always getting hurt. I don't know if I can even bank on them. There seems to be a little underlying tension there with Jimmy Butler, his extension. He doesn't perform, will they trade him? That could be possible too, right? Maybe this Miami Heat team doesn't look the same. I think there's a lot of uncertainty, though. I do like Khalil Ware, their draft pick, but at the same time, I think that the Miami Heat is just too much going on with them, and I don't really foresee them being a factor for us. Right now, the Sixers. Now, the Sixers are a team that wants revenge against us, okay? We beat them, right? We took over their building, right? We had Knicks fans literally storm the Wells Fargo Center and cheer, let's go Knicks and MVPs and all these things. We basically little broed them. Of course, they're going to say Joel Embiid was hurt, but once again, you can't use injuries as an excuse with us because we were missing Randall, right? Mitch got banged up that series, right? We definitely was not 100% healthy at all. So, we got to throw the injuries out. Now, granted, I would love to say, health, if, both teams are healthy, how the series would be. I think it would be a really good series, but the Sixers have a lot of guys that get banged up, that get hurt, right? So I'm not really sure if I could even put that on the Sixers because I don't think they're going to be healthy. I just don't see it. Or Paul George have struggled with injuries, right? Of course, we know Joel Embiid struggled with injuries. They do got a nice, interesting cast of guys, right? With the Martins, both Martins, even Kenya Martin's his son, he's working on his game, looking to get better. They did get the kid from France, the Yabusali, but we know we ain't scared of no guy who barely made it in the NBA, didn't even make it in the NBA his first time around. This is his second time around in the league. Besides that guy, they don't really have power forwards. I think they got Drummond and Embiid. I'm not sure if they got another center on their depth chart. So any injuries to bigs, that team is really going to be in for it. Now they do got a plethora of guards and wings, especially point guards. We know they got Maxey. We know they got Kyle Lowry, but Reggie Jackson, I think, is going to get a lot of time. So you're going to see a lot of these guys. For example, like if they want to play Reggie Jackson, Kyle Lowry, and Eric Gordon, that's 3 guards they're going to be playing. They're a very small team. They talk about the Knicks being a small team. I think that their best players are like their point guards. I like Kelly Oubre. I think Kelly Oubre's tough. But both Martins to me will be out of positions, especially if they're playing the 4. And then they got Paul George, who, is definitely a Hall of Fame caliber talent. But like I said, his health is a question, and he's getting older. And then those guys got to fit together, even though I do think it'll be a solid fit. That's why I got them as a 3rd seed, because I think Paul George, when you have a big guy and you got shooters around them and then a point guard and a big guy, especially them running the pick and rolls and action off pick and rolls, whether it's a pop, right? Embiid operating on the nail, their offense is going to be, pretty. I don't know how it's going to be until it happens, but I think that their offense will flow nicely. I just think that the size is going to be an issue, and I think that, yes, they have Joel Embiid. We know that he dropped like damn near 50 points, if not 50 points, with a hobbled leg against us in the first round last year. But I do think Julius Randle is going to be a X factor. I think that they're going to struggle with that matchup, and we could really take advantage of it. And then, eventually they're going to have to blitz Jalen Brunson because we know Kelly Oubre more than likely will get the assignment, guarding Jalen Brunson. But no one man is going to be able to guard Jalen Brunson. And eventually they're going to have to help. And when they help, that's when they're going to get killed. That's when that ball's going to move. And that's when some of you guys are going to see the point guard skills from Jalen Brunson. So that's number 6. Let me see what you guys told me in the chat. If there's anything, you guys have any commentary on the chat, let me know. I'm probably gonna be moving a little faster since I got a late start, but I'm gonna jump into the next reason that I feel as though my prediction, my seventh prediction, right? If you missed the first five after this video, you could go back and watch the previous video. But so I'm gonna jump into the seventh one, right? So I have here 6 players in double digits, right? I'm gonna up that. I'm gonna say the Knicks will have 7 players, right? 7 players averaging double digit points, right? Very few teams have 7 players that average double digit points, right? Now, of course, we know in the starting five, you have a definite 4, right? Definite 4 guys that will average 7 points, right? That for a fact they're going to do it. And that's, of course, our 2 All-Stars, Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson. I mean, of course, Bridges and OG shooing for double-digit points. No debates there. Bridges averaged 19 last year. Even in Phoenix, he averaged about 14, 15, something like that. OG, he's good for 15 points a game around that, right? Then the 2 guys off the bench, if you ask me, guaranteed. Well, it's hard to say guaranteed when one of the guys didn't do it, but I'm gonna say this: Dante DiVincenzo, his role as a potential 6-man of the year candidate. I've been hearing a lot of people feel as though Dante can do it. I could see him getting around Quickly's production off the bench, maybe more, depending on how comfortable he'll feel. But I could see him at least getting 11, 12 points easy off the bench, Dante DiVincenzo. So that would be the 5th guy. 6th guy, I think Josh Hart can do it. And you know what? I'm going to jump into research mode because some people might have forgot about Josh Hart scoring ability, right? So let me jump into research mode. Let me pull up the roster. So we're going to go look at Josh Hart. Now, Josh Hart, if you look at his career, I'm not sure how many of you guys, I'm pretty sure a lot of you have, but when you look at his numbers, right? Now, remember, when he first came to the Knicks in 2023, you can say he averaged the 10 points here. I got it highlighted on the screen, but he only played, he didn't play the whole season with the Knicks. He only played 25 games, right? And for the 51 games he was with Portland, he averaged just under 10. But if you look at his numbers, he's just under 10 points a game, right? Just under 10 points a game until you get up here. When you look at his total, right, his total games, he played 53 games in 2022. He was averaging 14.9 points, right? Then he even averaged 19.9 points. And this is basically 41 games. No, I'm sorry. In his 13 games in Portland, he averaged 19.9 points. Sorry for the mix-up, right? So he was putting up some points this year, right? And then he even averaged in his 3rd year, he averaged 10 points a game. So Josh Hart is a capable scorer, right? He's someone that, and when you look at when he averaged the 10 points, he was shooting 40, and this was in 2020. He was shooting 42% from the field, which is not the greatest, but he also shot 34% from downtown. For someone that's not a sharpshooter, I take 34% from Josh Hart. And for his career, he's a 34%. He's shooting at 34% for his career. Now, last year, of course, his 3-point percentage, his production dropped. But I think part of the reason why his production dropped was because, he wasn't, playing a lot of time at the small forward and the 2 guard. He was playing a lot of power forward. So maybe that took a toll on him, right? But we do know what he was able to do the year before that. And, he was shooting 37% from 3. And, of course, as a Knick during the regular season, he was shooting over 50%, right? Of course, there wasn't a great sample size. It was only 25 games. But Josh Hart is someone who definitely can shoot the ball, right? When you look at his numbers, he's someone that can get double-digit points, and I think that especially when they, let me jump out of research mode right quick. When you look at how I think they're gonna play OG Anunoby, I think that OG is going to get less minutes in terms of. I don't see him at the 34 minutes. I could see them dropping him to 30, giving Josh Hart those minutes, and then splitting probably those random minutes, like putting OG at the 4. I think OG's minutes will come down. I think you're going to have to really load manage OG Anunoby going forward. And I think with that, his scoring might drop a little bit. but I think his efficiency, his net ratings and plus minus and all that advanced stuff will shoot up. And I think because Josh Hart will continue to get around that 28 to 30-minute mark, right? I think Josh Hart, his production will increase, especially since like even if they're getting a little less time than what they're usually used to getting, I think that their production can go up. Now they can go harder because now they ain't got to do it for 40 minutes, right? They ain't got to do it all night. So here's some cool things about the other contenders, right? So when last year I'm not going to go deep into research mode on it. I did it already. I took some notes. The Minnesota Timberwolves last year had six players that averaged double figures or more. Now, how I calculate double figures is I understand trades are made. So let's say, like, I'm going to use the Knicks for an example. So let's say if they trade RJ Barrett and Quickly, which would be 2 double-digit scorers for one, and OG Anunoby, then I would say, those two will go to Toronto, and I would subtract OG from Toronto. So I would give them an extra double-digit scorer while the Knicks is losing one. So that's how I would look at or calculate double-digit scorers, and that's what I did last year. So the Wolves had 6. Celtics had 5, though they did have 2 players that were close, and that was Horford and Pritchard. They were like right under 10. The Sixers had a bunch of guys, but they made a lot of trades. So the Sixers is kind of like hard to look at their numbers. But the Bucks, they had 6. Pacers had 7. And the Pacers had a top offensive efficiency last year. I believe they were number 1 in offensive efficiency, right? And even after the trade, after they traded Bruce Brown, I subtracted 1 and I made sure it balanced out. So if you do the math on that, the Pacers had 7. So earlier, if you watched last week, when I said that the Knicks will have the top defensive rating in the league, I also believe they'll be top 5 in defensive rating. And if you have this amount of guys giving you double-digit points, right? I didn't even add Deuce McBride, right? Hey, maybe Precious steps up and gets more minutes at times in case of an injury, right? I didn't even add Mitchell Robinson, right? Yet, and he would be the 7th guy to make it happen, right? Over Deuce McBride. Now, Mitch. Here's the thing about Mitch, and you know what? I might jump into research mode for Mitch, right? So when you look at Mitchell Robinson's numbers, and you say, well, Mitch average, as you can see up here, his career numbers is 8 points, right? 5.6 points last year, right? Mitch is not capable of scoring double digits. Well, he already did it. He already got close to it in his career. And when you look at his second year, when he played 23 minutes, he was giving you 9.7 points. That's when he was going crazy, catching lobs and doing all those things, right? So Mitchell Robinson can get to 10 points a game, if you ask me, right? And I'll highlight it so you can see it if you're looking at the screen. See the 9.7? He did that in his second year. Now, of course, the numbers dropped. A lot of things happened. New regime. Coach Tibbs came in. He also was hurt a couple of years. So, but the point is, if Mitchell Robinson is where I think he's going to be, I do think that Mitchell Robinson could do it. And let me tell you how, just a quick breakdown on numbers, right? So if Mitch, right, if he gets 3 offensive, 4.5, he's averaging 4.5 offensive. Let's say he repeats the same number. I think he could do more. I think he could get to 5. Because to me, he is the best offensive rebounder in basketball. His only issue is health. So let's say he's at 4.5 offensive rebounds. If he can get a bucket off 3 of those get three of those offensive rebounds, he gets a bucket. That's 6 points right there, right? He's shooting 45% from the free throw line. Okay, if he can give me 2 free throws a game, that's 1 free throw, right? So now you're already at 7 points. And then if he could get the rest, and I think that, and I'm hopeful that they run a little bit more action for Mitchell Robinson, a little bit more pick and rolls, live situations, catch him in the dunker spot. Because a lot of people probably going to leave Mitch alone because they think that, I got to worry about the main 4 guys. But Mitchell Robinson is pretty effective around the basket, and he likes to hang around there, right? And he has good mobility too when moving around the paint. So he's very sneaky, very crafty. I think that if they can find more lob opportunities, he can be a Marcus Camby like threat on the offensive end for these Knicks. So I think that Mitchell Robinson could get double-digit points. Let me see what you guys talking about in the chat. It'll be hard for him to average more than 8 points per game. I mean, he already did it, He already did. I'm not sure if you saw when I put it on the screen, Knicks will be champs. He's already averaged that many points. He did it in his second year. And a lot of you guys probably don't remember how he got it. He was running wild, catching lobs. He was, he only and look, the key thing about that year was he only started 7 games. So he averaged 9.7 points off the bench. You trying to tell me that Mitch can get 10 points as a starter? And let's say I don't want to play him 30 minutes, but let's say you give him a good 27 minutes. I think that's a good number. 26, 27 minutes a game, I think is perfect for Mitch. And when he's out there, and I would play him in 6-minute stretches, 6 to 7 minute stretches, no more than that. Let him rest. He and OG, I would take a lot of care for. Now, I know we don't got the greatest, stable of backup centers. Maybe they are going to be good. We have to see. But I think that you're going to have to give Mitch time off, even sitting him out some games, right? So we got to establish a backup center. And I think, like I said, in Leon Rose, we trust. So I'm not really concerned about that. Mitch doesn't have the athleticism he did in year 2. Why you think Mitch doesn't have the athleticism? You think that he's a step slower? I don't know about that. To me, Mitch is he has good mobility. Now, his issue is always going to be perimeter defense, lateral movement. Most 7-footers don't have that. But outside of that, I think his movement is fine. And he's crashing it. Like I said, if you giving me 6 points off the offensive glass, I think he's more than capable. He's a 7-footer. You get the offensive rebound, you go back. I don't want to see no passing it out. Get the offensive rebound, you go right back up. That's all I'm saying. He could get 5, 6 points just off of that. So then he gives you a free throw game, right? Hold on, to be even. Yeah, he's giving you hold on. So for his career, right? And I'm looking at it, he's 1 for 2 from the line. So that's 1 point a game. That's 7 points on offensive rebounds and free throws. The other 4 points, 3 to 4 points can come from, a lob. 1 or 2 lobs a game. Now he has 10 points. I don't think it's that hard for Mitch to get 10 points, right? I'm not asking him to get the ball and post up and over the shoulder, hook shot. No. I'm saying go up on the off, be aggressive. If I'm Coach Tibbs, right, and I'm pretty sure that, these things are being hashed out and planned, I'm telling Mitch, when you get the offensive rebound, you got to go back up. 75% of the time you get an offensive board, you going back up. You're going back up. I don't want to see get the rebound and pass it out. No, it's time for Mitch to take it to the next level. He says he's been working on his game. I have faith in the man. Let's see. I saw Mitch doesn't have to add. Okay. Cool. So yeah, keep the comments flowing, man. I'm gonna move because it's a little late. Trying to think anything else I want to add here. So do you guys think that I know you guys probably feel like the 6, the Dante, the Hart off the bench. But are you guys feeling the 7 scorers in double digit? I believe it. I think it's possible. I think Mitch is going to do it, right? And then if you add Deuce McBride, the only problem with Deuce McBride is I don't know how many minutes he's going to get because I think Hart and Dante are going to get the lion's share of the minutes. I really do believe those 2 guys are going to get the lion's share. And then whoever's playing the backup center is going to get decent time because, like I said, Mitch is playing around 24 to 27 minutes. So that backup center is going to get that time. Now, Randall might absorb some of that time. And then maybe here's a way Deuce can get some minutes, right? So you're talking about OG as your bona fide backup power forward. So when Randall, comes out the game, OG's in that power forward. Josh Hart is in with OG, right? So Josh Hart's getting those Randall minutes. Randall plays around 34 minutes a night. So if Josh Hart can get like 10 of those minutes when OG slides over, plus he gets another 18. So Hart's going to get the time. Now, when they do this whole sliding over thing, right, there may be an opportunity for Deuce to play at the 2, right? Depending on how Tibbs is going to do the rotations, we don't know how that's going to look. But if Deuce is also going to get time at the 2 guard spot behind Mikal Bridges, right? So like if Brunson comes back in the game and they slide, Dante comes out and they slide Deuce over to the 2, there may be time. I just don't think Deuce is going to have enough time to get that many points, right? I that's the only drawback with Deuce, I would say, in terms of him. But if Deuce did get the time, hold on, let me see how much he averaged last year. I'm not sure how much Deuce, hold on. Looking at it right now, I'm in research mode. So Deuce gave you about 8. He gave you 8 in 19 minutes. I don't know if Deuce is getting 19 minutes. He gave you 8 in 19 minutes. But also remember, he started 14 games. Will he start 14 games this year? I don't know. I guess that's up to Jalen Brunson. I don't know. So Deuce is kind of a toss-up. Salute the coach in the building. Definitely. Knicks Tape Madness Discord in the building. If you want to join the Knicks Tape Madness Discord, hit the link in the description. Also hit the link in the comments. I believe I have it in the comments as well. Join the Discord. We have great conversations. 24/7 Knicks chat, 24/7 NBA chat. My man Sam's in there, coach is in there. We have great conversations. But salute to you, coach. Tom Thibodeau needs to go 9 to 10 deep in the regular season so we can stay healthy. Yes, but look, there's going to be opportunity because with load management, I could see OG and Mitch sitting out games. Back-to-backs, I could see them sitting out. So, if you're going to be sitting guys out, that leaves opportunities for other guys. For Sims, Kolick, right? Because I'm pretty sure if OG sits out, Hart is playing the 4. I just see everything sliding over. Deuce at the 2, and that leaves Cole and Dante at the 3. I see them doing, creative things like that in order to, give these guys a rest. So I don't know if they have to play 9 to 10 guys. Definitely 9, but I don't know if he's going to go 10, right? Deuce earned the roster. Yeah, Deuce, I think it has a roster spot. So there's going to be Deuce. This is my prediction, unless Tibbs come out and change it, which he could possibly do. But I think we all pretty much figured out the core 8 is Deuce, Dante, Hart, and then Precious probably will be the backup center. Or Sims. I don't know. We got to see how he does it. But Deuce is in the rotation. My thing is, Deuce, like I have here, I go to research mode. Why not? Deuce here, if you look at Deuce's numbers, right, and I highlight it. Deuce averaged 8.3 points in 19 minutes, as you can see where the yellow cursor is, right? But he started 14 games. So the 14 games definitely help. I don't know his numbers as a starter. I could Google it, but let's say his numbers as a starter was definitely double digits. That helped boost up his point production. But here's the kicker. I don't know if Deuce is going to get 19 minutes. That's the mystery to me. Because remember, Obi Toppin, how many minutes Obi Toppin got? I think Obi Toppin got 17 minutes, right? When he was there behind Randall. So it's going to shift around. So that OB treatment, I think, will go to Deuce as well. I don't see Deuce getting more than 19 minutes unless there's an injury and he's getting, starched. Then his numbers go up. But yeah, I wouldn't put Deuce in there. I think the only way we get it is through Mitch. That's just if you ask me. But yeah, Deuce definitely deserves a spot on this team. I'm not someone here who is like someone that's just antagonist or someone who, like, all right, so because a lot of people fell in love with Kolick. So you got a lot of people talking about, yeah, Kolick, just off of a summer league. Yo, Knicks fans are crazy, y'all. Knicks fans are crazy. But Deuce is definitely, to me, a part of the core 8. But let me get to this is my 8th expectation, y'all. If you just joined the stream, I'm basically continuing last week's show. I was supposed to drop all 10 of these predictions last week. I didn't get the chance to, so I'm back now. And now we're on our 8th. If you want to see the first 5, you can definitely go back and watch last week's video. But here's the key, right? Here's the key to a lot of things for us. I believe in my heart of hearts that Mitch or OG, and I kind of want to up it to both of them, but I just don't know. It's a lot to. Is it a lot? Is it a lot? I'm gonna jump into research mode in a second, but I think that they can play over 60. One of them is going to play over 65 games, and I think honestly, only the way the roster is set up right now, because you have so many wings, and you could really load manage the world out of OG. I think OG can get there. He probably has a better chance than Mitch of getting to that mark, only because of the load management they can do with all the wings they got. Not to mention the Bacome Dadiers, right? Well, Kevin McCullough Jr. is a 2A, but he could be called up at any time. But they got a lot of wings that they can bring. Even the kid from the Nets, what's his name, Jop or whatever his name is. You know, they got a whole bunch of guys they could experiment with and, you know, put in that spot, right? Let's say you sit OG for a game, it's a back-to-back. Let's say they don't want to play OG on back-to-backs. Now you put, you know, the original starting lineup from last year, but with the exception of OG out, and then you put Bridges in OG spot. And now you have what you had last year with Randall and Mitch. So, you know, I think OG is more prime for that role than Mitch. And since we're going to talk about OG, I want to show you guys something about OG Anunoby, because fans are cruel. All right? Fans, man, they they can be cruel, right? Oh, he's a walking injury waiting to happen. Yes, that may be true, right? We know OG he's gone through his fair share of injuries, right? But I want to show you something about OG's career, something that I don't know if you guys have considered, right? Now, when I talk about load management, I'm going to start there. If you notice, OG Anunoby, when his minutes were higher, he played less games, with the exception of the 2023 season. But typically when OG is playing less minutes, he plays more games, right? So this is what I'm saying. I would want to get OG back to where he was in 2020. I know he was a younger guy, and so he didn't have the same responsibility, but he was a starter on that 2020 team, right? So OG started in 2020, right? I think this is the model that we need to follow. 68 games, 29.9 minutes. That's what OG's minutes, in my opinion, needs to be, right? And he was pretty solid. Of course, he didn't, compete for no All-NBA defensive team, right? Of course, he only averaged 10 points a game, right? Of course, it wasn't the sexiest numbers, right? He did give you a 1.4 steals a game, right? 5.3 rebounds, not bad. Actually, 5.3, that's his second highest rebounding season, right? And his 3-point percentage, he's always solid, 39% from 3, 50% from the field. So, in my opinion, that's where I'm going to play OG. So that way, when the playoffs come, then I might ramp him up a little bit, right? Another thing about OG, right? Because we talk about OG, and I don't know why I still highlight it like that. Anyway, look at the games. Let's look at the games. Now, 2024, he played 50 games, okay? Now, he only had 2 seasons. Now, he has only been in the league for 7 years. But at the same time, he only has 2 seasons where he's under 50 games, right? And that's, of course, these 2021 and 2022, right? Other than that, he has 4 seasons where he played 65 games or over, right? His first 3 seasons, he was over 65 games, right? And he's gotten minutes early. Like I said, in his 3rd year, he was a starter, right? And then, of course, his best season, which was the 2023 season, this is when he made All-NBA defensive team, the second team, right? And he averaged 16.8 points, which was his second career high. It wasn't his career high. His second highest, right? He also shot about 39% from 3, right? And he shot 47% from the field. So OG has seasons where he played over 65 games, right? He's only had 2 seasons where he's under 50. So when we say OG is like Mr. Glass and all these crazy things, some fans, not most Knicks fans don't say that, but some people, especially at the Toronto, I ran across a lot of different fan bases. The Toronto people are crazy, yo. They're like, oh, they were so happy they got Emmanuel quickly. And they were saying how OG just gets hurt all the time. He's really good, but he gets hurt all the time. And I'm looking at the stats and I'm like, OG, he's I mean, if you look at the totality of his career, it's really just 2 seasons. But even in those 2 seasons, he's played more than half the season, right? He doesn't have any 20, 22 game seasons, 23 game seasons, right? You know, he's giving you what he can give you. So my logic is I think they're going to load management OG Anunoby. They got all the science. They got all the technology. They got all the people there that knows this stuff, right? They know way more than me. And I think that they can see that, hey, in his best season, right, or one of his better his best offensive production-wise season, because he averaged more points, right, and he was shooting really good numbers, decent numbers from the field, right? His percentages drop a little bit, but that typically happens when you're shooting more. But he had a career high in rebounds, career high in points. So I think that that's the way to go. I think that's the way to go. And I think that if they load management him the way I think they will, I think he's going to play over 65 games. He has a propensity to playing over 65 games. Let me see what you guys talk about in the chat. Knicks can overcome injuries to OG, and this is from Knicks will be chance, by the way. Knicks can overcome injuries to OG and Mitch, but not both of them. Good point. I think that right now, because we don't know what they're going to do with the back. They still have one roster spot, so we don't know what they're going to do with that roster spot. The backup center position is kind of, I mean, we got centers. We got guys that can play 5. We got some young guys. We still got the roster spot, so we just don't know what the center position is really going to look like. We don't really know what the game plan is with that, right? And we know a trade can come December 15th. We already know about all that stuff. So right now, looking at the team, yes, you're right. We can't overcome 2 injuries, right? We, if those 2 guys get hurt, yeah, that's it's a blow right now. OG, I think we could weather that storm a little bit because of Mikal Bridges, right? And Dante DiVincenzo, we seen what he does as a starting 2 guard. You could plug him right back in there. But Mitch is I think I'm riding with that. But that's how it is right now. OG will be starting at the wing, Big Kid Style. Salute to you, Big Kid Style. Salute to all the new people in the chat. We're pushing 1,000 subs. We're getting close. So if you're new to the channel, definitely hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. But salute to all the new people in the building. Salute to Vincent Johnson as well. He's been putting up some good stuff. He says OG goes 100% every game and needs to manage his play better. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Look, that's why Vincent, like, with the load management, he can go hard, but now we're going to limit his opportunity to get hurt because from what I've seen, and I have his injury history too, you guys want to look at it, we can. What I noticed when I looked at OG Anunoby's injury history, I'm going to pull it up. I just got to get the link. I haven't seen any repeat injuries, right? I haven't seen any, like, anything that I can recognize that's reoccurring. Maybe you guys who've been following him since Toronto like that, I haven't been following him since Toronto. I'm not going to cap. But I don't really see anything lingering with OG. Like I said, once again, I could be wrong. He did have a hammy. Maybe he had a hammy problem before, but look, I'm gonna show you the injury report. What I researched, and let's look at it together, right? So look, this is the history. By the way, Fox Sports is the best website if you want to look at people's career injuries, right? So in 2017, he had a torn ACL. This was college though, right? This was in the pros, right? And then in the pro 2018, he sprained his ankle. Sprained ankle ain't nothing. Now I don't know what grade ankle sprain that is, and he did have it reoccurring, but that's within the same frame, right? Even we seen Brunson retweak a sprained ankle, so that's not a sprained ankle ain't the end of the world, okay? Then he had the orbital contusion, right? Okay, cool. He had right wrist sprain. Once again, within the same period of time, right? Okay, cool. Here we got head. I'm not sure what they mean by head, but let's just keep moving forward. Then he had the appendix, right? Okay, cool. This was in 2019. Then he had the eye issue, right? Now the orbital could be, and the eye could be connected. I don't know. I'm not sure. Why doesn't it say orbital problem again? I don't know. But I'm just showing you his injury history because they're getting on OG like he's this big walking bag of injury, right? Now this knee injury in 2020, right? I doubt it had anything to do with his ACL back in 2017. But between 2017 and 2020, he hadn't had any knee issues. Okay. Now calf. Once again, this is within the same time frame. Okay. All right. Health and safety protocols. He had COVID in 2021. Now here's the calf injury, but it's the same season. Okay, cool. Right. 2021 calf. Okay. Let's see. Now 2021. Hold on. Let's double check what 2021. How many games he played in 2021? Just so we could be on the same. So 2021, he played. Oh yeah, okay. So 2021 was the year. This was his most injury plagued season, right? He only played 43 games in 2021. So that's why when we're looking at the Fox Sports, you see 2021 repeatedly a lot. Okay, and that's why this injury management's here. Okay, cool. And I think that was the year No, I don't think they won a championship that year. I know he also got hurt in the playoffs during their championship run. But anyway, I'm just going to keep moving forward, okay? Look, now when we go forward, right, health and safety protocols, right? Then he had finger. Then he had an ankle, right? It doesn't say ankle. His old ankle sprain has nothing to do. So the only reason why I'm going through this list is there's no lingering injuries, right? So yes, at times OG has trouble. He gets hurt at the wrong times. You guys can't even see the injuries on the screen. Hold on. I'm sorry, y'all. My bad. You can see it now, right? But this is what I was reading off. So you can see I'm not capping, right? I'm just trying to show you that he hasn't really had any lingering injuries, right? He gets hurt and it's like new things that pop up, like the finger, right? Like the hip. We haven't seen another hip, right? So yeah. So I was just looking at I haven't seen hamstring either. Right now, could this leg be a hamstring? I don't know. Why doesn't it say hamstring? Bottom line is no lingering injuries from OG Anunoby. Okay, so that's why I feel OG, if the Knicks manage him right, because okay, look, let's look at his number one health year, right? So his number one healthy year was 2020, right? So and I think what year they won the championship? Hold on, let me see if I can find the year they won the championship. I know they won the championship one of these years. I can't remember if it was 2020 or 2019. Let me see. Let's try to. Yeah, they won the championship in 2019. Okay, cool. All right. And in 2019, he played 67 games. Following year, 2020, he played 68 games. And let's look at the injuries real quick for 2020, right? So in 2020, he just had one knee issue, right? And this was August, right? So outside of that, he had the calf, which looks minor, but he hasn't really had any crazy injuries between 2019 and 2020. So, right, but this appendix, I think this is what kept him out the playoffs though in 2019 because I know he didn't play much in their playoff run that year. Okay, so just to give some other perspective, added perspective from OG. If you guys have any more details, let me know in the chat. But that's basically what I researched on OG. All right. Now I do want to move over to Mitchell Robinson, but hold on. Before I get to Mitchell Robinson, let me read the chat. See what you guys talking about. So Knicks will be chance to agree with Vincent. Yeah, like I said, I think they're gonna manage him. Vincent says he'll think they'll wait to the deadline, make a move unless someone gets hurt. That's a fact. I think that's what they're gonna do. I think, especially if it's going right. Because look, the key thing about these predictions, y'all, is we believe the Knicks are going to be a good team, right? So, that's the key thing about these predictions. We're not negative. Like I don't want to harp on, oh, these guys get hurt as if as if we're expecting the worst to happen. Because Mitch or OG going down, that is pretty bad, right? Your load management doesn't always work. You leave yourself more prone. Well, that's true. So Knicks will be champs. I feel you on that. Load management may not be the perfect answer, but I still think his minutes needs to come down. Like I don't think the numbers show it for itself. When he's playing less minutes, it's less chance for him getting hurt. Because he came out the gate with an ACL, right? That was his worst injury, was the ACL. Okay, so he came out the gate with that before he even entered into the league. So I think with OG, he doesn't need to play those heavy minutes, right? Maybe, okay, because with load management, it's also sitting out games. Maybe besides back-to-backs, maybe you don't sit him. Maybe you play him. But all I'm saying is I want less minutes. Let's see. Yeah, but when you say Knicks will be chance, the Clippers have been managing Kawhi. Kawhi is a whole nother monster. And if you want, just for real quick, just for fun, I know you guys don't like when I get off track too much. But I love interacting with the comments, and this is level-headed Knicks Talk, right? So hold on. Let's pull up Kawhi real quick. I'm going to show you. There's a little difference between Kawhi and OG. So how do I spell this guy? I could never spell this guy's name right. Okay, there you go. Kawhi Leonard, okay? Now, let's look at his career. Right? He did play 68 games last year, but of course he got hurt in the playoffs. Right? Oh, my mouse is there. All right, cool. So look, notice the difference off rip with OG. This is I'm sorry guys, we're not in research mode. Hold on. We get to research mode. Now this is the difference off rip. This is Kawhi Leonard, okay? He has seasons where he didn't even play. And then in 2018, so that was 2022, he didn't play ACL. 2018, he only played 9 games, right? And then, well, outside of that, he has a couple of 50-game seasons, but before the injuries came through, and here's the difference too, he's older than OG, and the injuries have came recently. And also he gets hurt at the wrong time. But when you look at 2023, 2022, he played 52 games in a 2-year stretch. OG doesn't have that. And then before that, he's been in the 50 club, right? So Kawhi Leonard hasn't really been healthy since 2016. If you want to give him 2019, that was a championship year, right? But he did play 60 games and 34 minutes, and he was able, to win the championship. Is that load management? I don't know. Let me see. 30? No, that's not really load management. So I guess that kind of works in what you guys are trying to say. Just let him play, don't manage him. But at the same time, his minutes has been consistently the same. And, yes, the regular season, I think the only reason why I'm going to keep it funky, I think that Kawhi made it to 68 games is because he won that All-NBA. Because, that 65-game mark, I think that's the reason why a lot of these guys, Halliburton, right? I think that if there was no 65-game mark, Halliburton wouldn't have made it. Kawhi wouldn't have made it. So, and he was All-NBA second teamer, and he was an All-Star. So But yeah, his injuries to me, Kawhi, I think he's a greater risk than OG Anunoby. So just to have fun with it, because he missed a whole season. OG's never missed a whole season, right? Yeah. Let me see. I can see both being moved quiet as kept. Who you guys talking about? I wonder who you guys talking about. Oh, you saying all depends if McKellar puns out? Well, when you said Kawhi was dealing with his injuries in San Antonio, that was the 1 year in 2018. All the other years, he was pretty solid. Now, did he get injured in the playoffs? Possibly, right? I could pull up the playoffs too. Um, he played 24. I don't know. He looked like he was there. Yeah, he played 23 games. He was pretty durable in San Antonio, right? It's just the 1 year here before this kind of kicked off the injuries for Kawhi was 2018. Before that, he was all right to me. He didn't miss too many games. But I'm gonna move over to Mitchell Robinson because I think that Mitchell. Hold on, this guy. A message. Give me 2 seconds. But I'm gonna move over to Mitchell Robinson because I think that Mitchell Robinson is someone who also can play over 65 games. Now this is Mitchell Robinson's, but I moved on from Kawhi, y'all. So this is Mitchell Robinson's his basketball reference, right? And when you look at Mitchell Robinson's basketball reference, right, you can see the similar things. Like he's only had 2 seasons where he's played under 50s. Well, let's just use this mark, 59 games, under 50 games. He's only had 2 seasons where he's played under 50 games. Now, granted, the only difference between OG and Mitch, well, technically no, because OG played 50 games last year, but OG didn't play 31 games. Now, 31 games in your last season is not a good look, but in the previous 2 seasons, he's averaging around, 65 games. So in 2022 and 2023, he's playing around 65 games, right? And then, of course, before that he had the 31-game stint there. But outside of those 2 seasons, Mitch has been okay with his durability, right? So most years, Mitch is there. He's ready to rock and roll, right? And look, when you look at AD is somebody we know because we brought up Kawhi. We could bring up AD. AD is someone that also struggles with injuries, gets hurt. And AD always gets hurt at the wrong time. The only time AD didn't get hurt at the right time was last year, and the year they won the championship. All the other years, he gets injuries at the craziest wrong time. So based off the production, right, in terms of games played, he's also played over 65 games 3 times. Twice, right? Over 60 games 3 times. That to me is solid. So we're kind of judging Mitch on 2 bad years. And like I said, I understand last year was definitely, something that, you were going to hold against him. You're going to hold it against him. It's bad that like, it'd be one thing if the 31 game was 2 years ago. But the fact that it was last year, I get it. Trust me, I get it. But all I'm saying is, I honestly believe that, if AD can do it, Mitch can do it. Now, they're going to have to it's either they feel like they already have a backup or they're going to get another backup. I do think that for Mitch to get to that point, I know we spoke bad about load management, but you might have to sit Mitch games. But to be honest, I'm going to keep it real too. When you look at Mitch's, I could go through Mitch's Fox Sports too, but Mitch has a lot of fluke injuries because he's flying all over the place. And it's just a great chance to get hurt when it comes to Mitchell Robinson. Granted, right? So maybe Mitch doesn't get the 65 games. I would like Mitch to get 65 games because I feel like if he does, he'll definitely be on the defensive team. The only reason why I don't have Mitch on the defensive team is because I feel like he's a walking injury waiting to happen, right? And so in order to make the team, you got to play over 65 games. Do I have faith in Mitch to do that? It's 50-50. But I don't. But here's the thing, Knicks fans. I don't see a world where they both go down. Okay? I don't. Listen, I think that the Knicks are smart enough to know, hey, we're going to have to do something, right, to protect ourselves in the event Mitch goes down. So we're looking at the team the way it is constructed now, but I don't think that we're going to be the same, going forward in the future, right? So let me jump out of research mode, but that's just my take on Mitch, right? I think that if AD can do it, Mitch can do it. Now, his injury, right, the stress fracture, I don't know, man, because when I read up on it, right, and I'm not a doctor, but when I did read up on stress fractures, they were saying that, the severity of the injury typically isn't that bad. But he is a 7-footer, right? He is a 7-footer, but him re-injuring it was a little alarming too. But I'm not a doctor, right? I'm not saying that it's going to harm him for his career. Just something else to consider, I guess. But look, we're going to jump into the next one, y'all. I got Leon Rose winning GM of the year. Now this one you might say, oh, that's not a surprise, right? Everyone felt like he should have won it last year, right? Or at least be in the top 3. I thought that he should be in the top. So I think this year they're going to give it to him. I think like some of the arguments I made earlier, like if you watched the last video, I said that New York is now in the limelight, right? We're in the limelight. Everyone's talking about the Knicks. We got 34 national TV games. So, if the Knicks are doing what we think they can do, the old media writers are going to have to give them the praise, right? Because they're all following narratives anyway. So I just can't wait to see these narratives change, because it's going to be a joyous day for us Knicks fans. And they're already changing right before our eyes. You've seen it, like the top 5 teams that have title odds, we're there. Top of the East, we're there. A lot of these experts' predictions. Of course, some of them are snubbing us a little bit, like Bleacher Report. We talked about Bleacher Report and the, the lack of consistency amongst writers, though we understand it's kind of a new media model where they give guys opportunity to write. But I do think that there should be some consistency in their messaging, especially if they're making predictions, because one writer has this crazy prediction, another writer has this prediction, and it contradicts. Whatever. But besides that, most of these guys have been giving us our props. I can't front. But when you look at the moves, right? And I was trying to find this number, and maybe I'll go back to Sports Track. I do know that this year will be the first year the Knicks will be paying a luxury tax since Leon Rose took over. I'm trying to see what that tax number would be. But imagine that. Leon Rose, I don't think you could even think of a Knicks team that hasn't been in the luxury tax as a good team. We know bad Knicks teams, they be spending crazy money in luxury tax. But think about what I'm saying. You had a 50-win team, 47-win team. Both those teams went to the second round. Even the year we was the 5th seed, I think we was the 4th seed against the Hawks, right? Even that year, we wasn't in the luxury tax, right? New York coming out of the luxury tax, I want to say yes, that took place before Leon Rose got there. But at the same time, him building a team and not overspending in the traditional New York City fashion that, has been the model New York teams followed for years, right? Even the Yankees were trying to change that model, right? The Yankees were, I don't even think the Yankees now are top spenders. I could be wrong on that, but I know before, if they are top spenders now, before that, they wasn't spending the most money. They were trying to do it through the farm system and, trying to grow the talent organically. But the job that Leon Rose has done, right, it's like this. a kid, you in the toy store, right? And you come from a rich parents, right? You have rich parents, and you go to a toy store, and you're modestly selecting toys that you like, and it's not breaking the bank, but it's still fun and it's still a good time. But you have access to all this money, and you're not, spending it, overspending it, right? You're not asking your parents to spend the crazy amount of money on the whatever the latest toys are. So I look at it like that. Like Leon Rose, we already know the Knicks big market team. Hey, spend the bank, right? Go get a star, right? Go spend what Philly's spending, or go spend what the Warriors spent. Go spend, look at Minnesota, right? So for him to do what he has done and avoid luxury tax up until this year, and even still in this year, pulling off the trade, right, for Mikel. Of course, the greatest sacrifice in NBA history, right? Not even just Knick history, NBA history of Jalen Brunson, brokering that deal, him sacrificing $113 million, right? The trades he made. I mean, did Leon Rose make mistakes? Of course, right? Should they have drafted Halliburton over Obi? Of course, right? You could say that for a couple of different people. They could have went the other way. Um, but even the people will also bring up the Fournier, Kemba Walker signing, right? Okay, cool, right? So my things is, even when he did like a trade for Cam Reddish, right? When we got Cam Reddish, rumor had it Coach Tibbs didn't like the whole Cam Reddish move. Okay, cool. He then takes Cam Reddish, flips him, and gets Josh Hart. Every year, right? Tibbs makes a move, probably with the exception of that Cam Reddish year, makes a move to help build the team and improve the team. One trade at least, right? We saw it with Derrick Rose when he first brought Derrick Rose there. So I'm saying that to say that this man needs to get that acknowledgement. He deserves the award. I'm fighting for him. I'm petitioning for him. I would love to add Coach Tibbs to this list, but we already know it's very hard to get two coaches of the year. Not too many coaches have two coaches. I think Pat Riley might have two. One with LA, one with the Knicks. Not 100 on that. But very few coaches get two coaches of the year. Then you got a coach like Eric Spoelstra who never won coach of the year. So that's why Coach Tibbs, he's not on my list of expectations, right? But he should at least be top three, especially if the Knicks are going to perform the way we think they're going to perform. But every year the Knicks have improved. So you're not overspending money, and the team is getting better each year with the exception of, like I said, 2022. But even just the win totals, 45, 47, 50, right? Now we're talking 55, 60. We went for the first round, then we in the second round, right? Then we went to the second round, game 7. It's like this team is just constantly improving. Moving draft picks, right? Getting draft picks. First off, being able to get 5, 6 draft picks that you can trade, right? To have, at your disposal, right, is impressive, right? Getting all those second round, I think we had like 12 plus second round picks, right? And now we see the value of second round picks now, right? We see all these second round picks getting guaranteed contracts, right? You haven't seen this many second round picks getting the first 2 years guaranteed 4-year deals like you're seeing now, right? And he's loaded up on second round picks, right? Still got conditional first round picks that we could move if need be. This man is incredible. I think he needs to get the award. I mean, what else do you want me to say? Now I know if the Sixers have success, Daryl Morey will be up for the award. I'm not sure if Daryl Morey won it. I could put up the GMs. I don't feel like pulling it up, but I know the guy in OKC has already won the award, so I doubt they'll give it to him twice. Dallas. I'm not sure if they won it, but Dallas is somebody that's going to be a contender for that award as well. But I just think this is the New York Knicks year. I think that the profile is so high. I don't see the league, playing us. I really don't. I don't see it this year. I think that we're going to get all that we deserve. Let me see what you guys talking about in the chat. Oh, salute to Joe Curry in the chat, man. Definitely salute. What happened to my soundboard? Soundboard got all mixed up. But salute to you, Joe Curry. Salute to everybody. Let's see. Yankees are still top 10 in spending. Yeah, but Vincent Johnson, the Yankees are top 10 in spending, but they're not number one in spending. Remember, the Yankees used to be number one in spending. They used to blow the bank. They used to spend. Let's see. Hold on. Are the Yankees top 5 or top 10? I hated the Fournier signing. Yeah, we know with Leon Rose, the two things that he did to me that was just not right was Obi Toppin definitely, and then the Evan Fournier, Kemba Walker signing. Right, those two things, I grouped them together because it happened around the same time. Those are the only two mistakes I feel Leon Rose made. Right. I think every other trade's been on the money. I don't even think the Obi trade was a mistake, though. I did feel like maybe you could get a first-round pick for Obi, especially seeing that he did get a $60 million contract. But at the same time, we took those second-round picks and was able to get Bojan, right, and Burks, and that was able to get us Mikal Bridges. So it's a lot of maneuvering, right? A lot of maneuvering. But let me see. Danny Ainge hate the Knicks. I know. But look. If Danny Ainge hates the Knicks, right? And we say, yo, Danny, you got this kid, Walker Kessler, wasting away on your bench. We'll give you a conditional first-round pick. We'll give you our first-round pick, Pacome Dadier. I'm sorry, I know some of you guys might like him. Hey, he might be a good player. I'm giving him and Sims. I'm putting him and Sims in the package for Walker Kessler. You got to be objective. Now, yes, we understand Boston, New York, Ainge. We get that. We do get that. That exists. I'm not someone that is just somebody who is oblivious to that. But I do think that at some point, as a GM, you got to make the right move. Let's see. Knicks 100 says that I'm right about the Tim McCullough or Dadier should be ready. Okay. Hopefully. Maybe they'll get time. I know, Pacome Dadier is going to be on the bench, so he's definitely going to have a shot. McCullough, maybe. It depends on the injuries. Mitch has injuries because he's flat-footed. Okay, possibly, yeah. I could see that. He is flat-footed, and I just think that he just flies around too much. Same thing with Joel Embiid. Like, these guys are 7-footers, and they wind up on the floor too much. AD, same thing. To me, it's an injury waiting to happen, because they're so active and kind of reckless with their actions, right? Because Mitchell Robinson was flying all over the place. Let's see. KD got hurt when he went up against the Warriors. Okay. Kawhi got hurt when he was with KD. Yeah. That okay. Yep, I'm pretty sure about that. Ainge ain't gonna take that for Kessler? Damn. So you don't think he'll take Sims? But so what he gonna do? He gonna have Kessler just sitting on the bench wasting away? Come on, man. Let's see. Whatever deal Leon was gonna make with Ainge that went out the window with Spider. Well, we already knew, and Stephen A. Smith said that someone told him that, Ainge said something to the extent of it'll be a cold day in hell before I trade in Mitchell to the Knicks or something like that. But I'm not saying that he won't deal with the Knicks. I just don't think he wanted to give Spider to the Knicks, right? Because, Spider's looked at as a star, and that's what the Knicks need. That's the ops. I'm not going to help them forever. Boston Knicks stuff, Let's see. We need Mitch for one reason, to defend Embiid. Yeah, we need Mitch, and that's not the only reason. We need Mitch for sure. No, that can't be true with the Dodgers and the Phillies. We talking about baseball. Oh, Vincent Justin says Mets and Yankees are 1 and 2 in spending this year. Yeah, Vincent, I'm not sure. like that's what I said. The Yankees might have changed now, but I'm saying like they went through a period where they stopped being the number one spender. Right. So I haven't really been watching too much baseball this year. So I haven't really kept up with it. But I'm pretty sure they had to switch because I know that I think the last time I checked the standings, the Yankees was like number one in the AL East. So at some point you do got to spend the money to get over the top. And I think that's the reason why the Yankees wasn't getting over the top. I think now is the time to be the number one spending team. I know they got Judge, and I know they got a couple of players that's nice and talented, but at some point you're gonna have to get to that point. But Leon Rose, by him playing with, just being smart with the money, right? He's given a lot. I feel like he's going to have a lot more wiggle room to spend because now we're getting to the point where I'm not saying we have to be second apron, but you're going to have to pay Julius Randle something. Not saying it's going to be second apron level money, but you're going to have to pay him something. Just check half game back. So we having a baseball conversation. Mets are, Mets are the number one. So hold on. If the Mets are number one spending team, right? Because I'm pretty sure that's what you're talking about. I know the Mets are not number one in baseball. That's just never. No offense to the Mets fan. So if the Mets are, what's the Mets record? What are the Mets record? I'm curious to know what's the Mets record. But let me see if anything else with Leon Rose. Yeah, I mean, yeah, look what he's done with this team. Yeah, I think I drove home the Leon Rose point. I'm gonna go to my last point, and so we can keep this train moving. Hopefully, I was told last time I was talking to the chat too much, but yeah, hey, this is the best chat in the Knicks world, so I gotta talk to the people, and this is level-headed Knicks talk. I know I'm on here by myself, but yo, this is a conversation, man. We gotta talk this talk. So look. My last prediction, right? And I really want to change this to the finals. I really want to change this to the finals. But I'm gonna say East Finals for sure. I'm guaranteeing the East Final, but I really want to say finals. I'm getting close to saying Knicks will go to the finals. Now, we already know that we're gonna see the Ops. So in this process of getting to the Eastern Conference Finals, which is a good mark for us because we haven't gone there in like 25 years. So getting to the Eastern Finals, yes, we want to go finals and win championships. I'm with that. I'm riding with y'all. Some of y'all told me my expectations are too low. Hold on. Some of y'all told me my expectations are too low, right? And y'all said, yo, what you doing, right? And, I said, well, I'm trying to be level-headed, right? Thus level-headed Knicks talk. But at the same time, I'm very optimistic about this Knicks team. If we get to the other 9 predictions, right? I think we're good enough to go to the finals. Like, and to be honest, to be very honest, unless we're hurt like in 99, right? I don't see a team in the West. This might sound crazy to some of y'all, but I don't see a team in the West beating us in a 7-game series. I don't see Minnesota doing it. Yes, they have the best defense and Anthony Ant-Man Edwards and all of that. I hear all of that. But Cat, I think Randall is going to eat Cat up. I think Rudy Gobert is going to just be overwhelmed. I think that McDaniels and all the rest of those guys, I just don't think they're about that life. I think OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges going to rise to the occasion. OG Anunoby already was a part of a championship team. Yes, he might not have to play much in the playoffs, but he has the experience on being on that level. Dante DiVincenzo, yes, he might have got hurt in the playoffs, but he was a starter on a team that won a championship, right? Josh Hart, you already know he's coming with the heart. He ain't backing down. Jalen Brunson, Captain 11. I just think that what the Knicks have it to me can overcome with the West. Now, the toughest team on the Western Conference is going to be Dallas. Telling you off rip. But I think that because we have the wing defenders, I really think we can give Dallas the business in a 7-game series. It's going to be tough because Dallas definitely has been, they've been cooking us, yo. They've been cooking us. But Coach Tibbs on the defensive end and then putting them in pick and roll defense. Yes, I know they got Quentin Grimes. I know they got Klay Thompson. But they can't play both of them. Not in the key minutes. We know the start in the game is going to be Kyrie and Luka. That means Kyrie and Luka going to have to play defense. Right? They're not going to be able to hide them but yes, they have Klay. They could bring in Grimes. They got good wing defenders. Don't get that twisted, right? And they got guys that's going to spread the floor and shoot threes. The key thing for us, if we go up against the Dallas, will be pick and roll defense, right? So on the Western Conference, I'm not worried about OKC. I'm not worried about Denver. This might sound crazy to some of you. It might sound crazy to some of you. But those are the two teams. That's the one team in the West I'm concerned about is Dallas. I think Dallas is definitely a 7-game series. I think we could win it, but I just think that the Luka Kyrie show and our pick and roll defense has to be on point. I think we could do it, but Boston for us really is that team is the King Cooper, right? Is the King Cooper of the league. If you beat Boston in the playoff series, I think that propels you to win the championship. Because no one is going to have that level of an opponent on their resume in the playoffs. No one's going to have that level of resume in the playoffs, right? So if you get past Boston, you win in the championship. But if we see Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals and we take it to them and we don't back down and we take them 7 games, win, lose, or draw, but no draws, win or lose, you got to give us credit. Win or lose, you got to give us credit. I don't see Boston running through us for sure. They might run through those other teams, but Boston's going to have to see an Eastern Conference that's going to be a lot tougher and a lot more healthy. We know we're going to have to probably see Philly. We know we're probably going to have, on the way to this Eastern Finals berth, we might have to see the Pacers or the Heat, depending on how the standings pan out. But I really do believe we're going to the Eastern Conference Finals. That's not a if we go. That's not a maybe. That's not we'll see. That's not a yeah, maybe next year. That's not a no. I'm saying this with all confidence and based on all the other predictions I gave. Number 1 defense, 60 wins. If that gives us home court advantage in maybe the first 2, maybe the first 3 rounds, right? All those things will propel us to a Eastern Conference final where we should have made it last year. But, hey, the basketball guys and injuries, man. Let me see what you guys talking about. Vincent Johnson, let's be real. If the Knicks get the 2nd seed, we'll go to the finals. OKC is the dark horse in the West. Hey, y'all guys are more worried about OKC. You know what? That might be a poll. Let me write that down. That might be a poll, y'all. Oh, biggest threat in the West. I'm not worried about Isaiah Hartenstein, man. I said the man's name. Damn. No hate. I'm just tired of talking about him, right? I was arguing, like, for 2 weeks, I was arguing every day with Knicks fans about that guy. I'm not worried about him. I'm worried about a little bit about Chet. It depends on how Chet's development is. You know, Chet is the guy who, does he become our KP in the West, right? Is he someone that will take his game to the next level? I just think that them losing Giddey is going to affect their offense a little bit because Giddey was the engine behind a lot of their creativity and playmaking on the offensive end. Yes, he wasn't the greatest shooter, but he had the ball moving. Now SGA is going to have to take a lot more of that role, but sometimes they run the Jalen Williams kid as a point power forward too. So we'll see. Let's see. You only see the Thunder and the Timberwolves taking the Knicks 7 games. Hell, I'm just gonna say it. I mean, all those final matchups are gonna be good. I'm just telling you who I'm worried about. I'm only really worried about Boston. We get past Boston, to me, that's the greatest threat in the world. And to be honest, like I'm very confident in our abilities against all of those teams because of the reasons that I just said. I think OKC is dangerous because of the defense, right? They play really good defense, and they don't have to double you. They could play man on man. Now, I do think Rudy Gobert's food and pick and roll, so the Knicks will have to run a lot. Something I'm not gonna say a lot. They're gonna have to run pick and roll against Rudy Gobert. You have to put that drop coverage in the pick and roll and kill him, right? That's the same thing with Philly. You got to put Embiid in that pick and roll, put him in that drop coverage, and kill him. So because of that and a couple of other reasons, I'm not really that concerned about OKC. It could go 7 games. I think we could beat them. I'm the Minnesota. Same thing with OKC. I think that, Chet Williams to me is the wild card. We have defenders for Williams and SGA, right? We have defenders for them. Yes, SGA is a consistent 30 ball. I'm just not really concerned about the rest of that team. Right? I know Jalen Williams puts in work, but Chet Holmgren, to me, it's on him. If Chet Holmgren becomes an all-star, that team becomes a lot more dangerous. I just don't know if he's ready to do that yet. Will he be a beast at the power forward position? A lot of question marks with OKC for me, right? I know it looks great on paper. I'm just telling you how I think about the game and how it's going to be played and looking at it all on the floor. I don't know. I got to see it. I got to see it. If your best player is shorter than 6'5" and doesn't have an All-NBA defense, they aren't beating New York. Ooh, I like that. If your best player is shorter than 6'5", I like that. You're talking about Minnesota. I like that. I mean, I think McDaniel was McDaniel's All NBA defense. I'm not sure. I'm not 100 on McDaniel's being an All NBA defense. He might have been on the team, but Ant-Man is a solid defender. But Ant-Man's not going to be guarding Brunson. More than likely, it's going to be Conley or McDaniel's. I ain't worried about that because we're going to put them in pick and roll. And Rudy Gobert has still shown you he's a liability. That's why in the Olympics he didn't play. So that Minnesota I'm not worried about them. I'm gonna keep it real. I think Chet Holmgren, OKC, Dallas, but Boston, right? I still think Boston is a tough mountain to climb. I'm not going to tell anyone to pick against the Knicks. I'm always going to pick the Knicks. I'm just telling you what I'm guaranteeing. That's all this prediction is about. That's all this prediction is about. Let me see if any more comments. Philly, OKC, and Boston are the biggest threats. Knicks will be champs. Why are you worried about Philadelphia? Knicks will be champs. Why are you worried about Philadelphia? Is it because of Paul George? Playoff P? I mean, we could have fun. Let's go into research more. We could have fun with it. Why? I want to know why you think Philly is the toughest. I'm gonna pull up Philadelphia's team right now. Let's see. Let me pull up the Sixers. I'm not. Am I too confident, guys? Maybe I'm just too confident. I don't know. I just think that we're a better team than Philadelphia. I think that their vulnerability right now, as we speak, is the 4 spot. I don't think they have enough reinforcements at the 4 spot. Let me see what they got. Do they got anything now? I know the season. Okay, all right. Bet. So we got the roster right now. So this is their roster for this year. I'm gonna sort it by height. Oh, they got Max Fielder. Who the hell is Max Fielder? Hold on. Who is this? Max Fielder is a rookie? Okay. I ain't worried about no rookies. I never heard of. Look at how Philadelphia rosters. Who's this Odeem Boma? Who is this? Odeed Bona. Let's see. He was drafted. When was he drafted? 2022. Okay, yeah, this kid is I'm good. All right, so look, this is the Philadelphia 76ers, y'all. They got these guys here, Fielder and Obona, they're not playing. They only got 3 big guys on their team. That's going to be rotation guys. Paul George, yes, he's 6'8", but he's not a big guy. He plays like a small forward 2 guard. Julius Randle is going to cook him if he's matched up against Randle, right? Kelly Oubre 6'7", but he's going to be playing 2 guard. Kelly Oubre is going to be guarding Brunson, and he's going to get cooked. Okay? KJ Martin is the other power forward. He's 6'6". Salute to the Martins. Salute to Kenya Martin, his father. Right? Solid player. His son is too small. They're too small. They got too many guards. Look at all these guards. Kyle Lowry. Look at all these guys 6'2". You talk about the Knicks and Jalen Brunson. Look at all these. Look. Reggie Jackson, 6'2". Tyrese Maxey, 6'2". Jared McCain, 6'2". And Jared McCain is not a point guard. Kyle Lowry, 6 feet. I watched McCain's every game Duke played. I'm a Duke Blue Devil fan. Jared McCain is not a point guard. If you're going to play McCain, he's going to be playing 2 guard. He's undersized. They're going to get cooked. They're too small. The Sixers are too small. They're too small. The only player they got, 2 players they got with decent size, if they're playing 2-3, is Oubre and George. If they're playing power forward, they're going to get cooked. So I'm curious. You said they improved on how Philly improved on the glass because they got Drummond. All right, so look, let's pull up Andre Drummond. All right, we're gonna look at Andre Drummond's numbers and careers. Right. Okay, so this is Andre Drummond's numbers now. Right. We know Drummond was a really good player his first year. I'm not debating that. Drummond was a really good player. The first 6 years of his career, he was nasty. All right. The last 6 of his career, he sort of kind of fell off the map, right? Now, he played 79 games off the bench last year. Definitely 9 rebounds off the bench was solid, right? But we know he did get hurt towards the end. But Chicago wasn't competing for nothing anyway. Then he didn't even start no games the year before that. 6.6 rebounds, right? If he's getting time and minutes, he's going to produce. Andre Drummond's only going to be effective if Embiid gets hurt, right? We've seen Drummond excel, but to me, he and Embiid cancel each other out. He needs minutes to play. Look, he was averaging 12 minutes a game, right, in 2023. That's what he's going to get in Philadelphia. You don't believe me? Let me show you why. This is why I love being in research mode, right? I'm going to pull up Joel Embiid's. Let's look at the minutes Joel Embiid gets. Remember, Nick Nurse is somebody that's not, you talk about load management, Nick Nurse don't believe in load management, all right? Joel Embiid, all right, let's look at, is this his per game numbers right here? Yeah. Joel Embiid is getting 33, 34 minutes a night, right? 33 minutes a night. So that means Drummond is only going to get 14 minutes a game. Drummond needs minutes and time to be effective. If Drummond is not getting the minutes and the time, he's only going to be giving you 6 rebounds, 6 points. That's all I'm saying, right? So to me, they cancel each other out. That's the only size they got is Drummond and Embiid. Outside of that, the Sixers are small, probably smaller than the Knicks. Definitely, the Sixers are definitely smaller than the Knicks. because you're going to play this guy Yabu Saleh. Good luck. I want them to put him out there. Because are we going to see that the NBA is a whole different ball game than the Olympics? Did he play good in the Olympics? Yes, he did. Right? Did he put LeBron James on the poster? Yes, he did. But did he also come to the NBA? Matter of fact, let's pull this guy's up. He has a basketball. This is Yabu Saleh. This is the Sixers' only true power forward on their roster. He's the only true power forward on their roster. Okay? This is what he did in the NBA. Okay? He's a whopping 2 points, 1 rebound. Okay? He's played 41 games, didn't do nothing. 33 games, didn't do nothing. Now, yes, did he get better? Of course he got better. Can he probably produce? I don't know. It's either he's going to be a starter or he's not going to get no minutes. But he's the only power forward they have on their team. Look at the height. Once again, these other guys, Max Fielder, I've never heard of him before. He's a rookie. Never heard of him before. Is Max Fielder nice? Y'all might know. I don't know. Adeem Bona, he's a rookie. I don't know these guys. Whatever. They're not playing. Okay? Just going to put it like that. The rest of it, they're small. Philly is not on our level. Let me see. Drummond is a huge improvement. Yeah, but the time is the minutes. It's the time and the minutes. Matter of fact, before Embiid got hurt, he was playing like 35, 36 minutes. It dropped to 33 minutes because he came back and it was low management. Joel Embiid is playing 35 minutes. If Drummond is not getting the time, right? If Drummond is not getting the time, because you're not playing them together, because they know they're going to get cooked. If Drummond is not playing, let me show you. I'm going to show you Drummond, okay? So look, if Drummond is not playing 20 minutes, he's not giving you a double-double. If he's getting around 12 minutes, which is what I think he's going to get, around this 12 minutes, he's going to give you a 6 and 6. Is 6 rebounds going to help them more than last year? I don't know. It might, it may not. But Drummond and Embiid cancel each other out. That's all I'm trying to say. Joe Curry says, I see it. Knicks 63 wins, Celtics 60 wins, Bucks 53 wins, 76ers 47 wins. Okay. So you got the Bucks ahead of the Sixers. Why do you have the Bucks ahead of the Sixers? Because is it because Damon and Giannis, you're not counting them out? By the way, 60 wins, I'm riding with you. Anybody who got the Knicks 60 wins, I'm riding with you. Drummond does one thing. No, but Knicks will be champs. Knicks will be champs. I'm riding with you, right? I'm not saying that Drummond won't help the rebounding cause. My thing is he and Embiid cancel each other out. That's all I'm saying. You can't play both of them together. He's a good insurance policy if Embiid gets hurt. So if Embiid, God forbid, I don't want to see nobody get hurt, whether they're on our team or not. So if Embiid tears a meniscus, you could pour Drummond right in. You see what I'm saying? You could put Drummond right. And Knicks will be champs. I know you got 60. I remember you saying Knicks 66 games. I'm just telling you that. Wait, hold on. You said the Bucks is better defensively? You know what? Since we in research mode and we having fun, let's pull up the Bucks. I don't know if the Bucks is better defensively, yo. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm gonna pull it up, Joe. I'm riding with you, Joe. I'm riding with you. Let's pull it up. Since we in research mode, let's have some fun. Matter of fact, let me take this 10 off. We already did that. If you just joined the stream, I just went through the 10 predictions. Definitely was a good show. Everybody, had great points. Right now, we're having a little off-the-cuff conversation. Not technically it's on the cuff because the last prediction was us going to the Eastern Conference Finals, right? So we're going to pull up the Bucks, right? You said you think the Bucks is better defensively. Okay. Let me see. I know Doc Rivers is a defensive-minded coach. Let's look at the roster. I like to sort by height, all right? I like to see the team. Now, one thing I will say, off rip, Bucks definitely got size. They got size. All right, Tyler Smith, he's a rookie though. They do got some young rookies, but we know at least Bobby Portis, Giannis, and Brook Lopez. They play together. They going unless an injury happens, they're gonna be in the floor. Now they do got. I don't know who this kid is. Let's click on this Pokokis. I don't know who this kid is. He played 28 games. Looks like he had a Wizards jersey on. He was with Washington. Oh, okay. Not bad. He had 6 and 4 when he got 16 minutes. So they got another big guy. This kid here. I'm not sure if you guys heard of him before, but he played. He averaged about 6 and 4. For the Wizards. So hey, who knows? Maybe this kid might be a hooper. I don't know. But the Bucks got size for sure. We know that. Now Tyler Smith, hold on, that name sounds familiar. Third pick. Was he? I think this kid Tyler Smith also got a guaranteed contract too. Yeah, he did. They gave this kid 4 years. So yeah, Tyler Smith, hey, they believe in this kid. Maybe this kid might give him some. So they do got size. Now let's look at the rest of this though. Now, because my thing, Joe, with the Bucks is their perimeter defense is weak as hell to me. Right? They're on the perimeter. Let's see if they improve from what they had last year. So they got Dame Lillard, AJ Green. I don't remember this kid. Hold on. AJ Green. Oh, he was with the Bucks last year. 2 years. He was with the Bucks the last 2 years. Oh, he played 91 games. Yeah, but he wasn't getting no time. Looks like a shooter. He's shooting 40% from 3. But is this kid a defender? I don't know about this AJ Green kid is a defender. He doesn't look like a defender to me, yo. Let me see AJ Johnson. This is their first pick. AJ Johnson, he went to where he went? He went to Fresno? Or he went to... I don't know this kid. You know AJ Johnson? I don't know AJ Johnson. Maybe this kid's... I'm just looking for defense right now. So AJ Johnson, he's a question mark. I don't know nothing about him. Pat Connaughton, no. He's no defense. DeLon Wright, no. Gary Trent Jr., that's my man. I know Gary Trent. That's my man from Duke. By the way, AJ Johnson doesn't look like he has a school up here. They don't got his school listed. Is he from overseas? I don't know. Either way, Gary Trent Jr., my man went to Duke. I wouldn't say he's a defensive stopper at all. He plays defense, but he's not an all-NBA defender, if you ask me. That's if you ask me. Marjon Beauchamp, I remember this kid from last year. He plays a little defense. I mean, am I scared of Beauchamp? No, I'm not. Andre Jackson Jr. Yeah, this kid. I remember this kid. This kid. They thought that he could guard Brunson. He was getting cooked. Yeah, he averaged a whopping 2 points. Yeah, he wasn't out there for points. This kid, he's an okay defender. But I'm not really worried about them. Looking at this lineup prematurely. Oh, and they got Taurean Prince, by the way, too. Right, we know Taurean Prince from the Lakers, 6'6". He's definitely a defender, right? Looking at the Bucks, I'm not scared of them at all, right? But I will say Joe Curry might have a point. I think they do got a couple of guys that look like they're better defenders. At least they look like they're better defenders than what Philly has. Because when you look at Philly's team, Reggie Jackson play a little defense. Kyle Lowry's a little old. He plays all right defense, but he's old. You can't really rely on Lowry for long stretches like that. Reggie Jackson's not bad defensively. You got Kelly Oubre Jr., right? He's probably their best defense. Paul George can play a little defense, but I wouldn't put Paul George out there as the primary defender at this point with his age and his injury. I just wouldn't give him that much responsibility. If you ask me, right? I'd rather put Paul George on a bigger guy than to have him guard an elusive guard that's going to be like a Donovan Mitchell, right? Caleb Martin plays a little defense, but I don't. I don't know. I think both of these teams are gonna get cooked. I'm gonna keep it real with you, Joe. But I see why you're saying what you're saying. With Taurean Prince for sure. Definitely. Let me see what Taurean Prince is shooting from three. What's his 3-point percentage? He's shooting 39% from three too. Hold on. Taurean Prince. Let me see. Taurean Prince is definitely somebody. He's shooting 4 threes a game. He's shooting 39%. That's a good pickup for Milwaukee. I forgot they picked this kid up. Just because of Taurean Prince, I might give them the edge. But here's the problem, though. You're not going to be able to, because they still got Chris Middleton. So you're going to start Prince at the 2? I guess they could. I would start Prince at the 2. If I'm coach, because he's shooting 39% from 3 and he going to lock up, take the pressure off of Middleton. Yeah, Joe, you might be right. I'm riding with you. Knicks will be chair says Doc Rivers is the Bucks coach. I didn't want to go there. Middleton plays the shooting guard. No, Middleton is definitely not a 2. Middleton is definitely a 3. But yeah, Prince could play 2. He could, because Prince could defend 2s and he's shooting 39%. So it doesn't even matter. Let me see where we at. We at the 2-hour mark yet. I want to talk about Randall too, y'all. I want to know if hold on. We still live, right? Yeah, we still live. I want to know about Randall. Let me see if I got the link here. Do I got the link here? There was an article. Let me see if I can find it right quick. There was an article that was talking about how Julius Randle, the biggest question is a Bleacher Report article. Let me see if I can pull it up right quick. I'm pretty sure some of you guys who be on Bleacher Report saw it. It was saying that it was saying the storylines, the biggest storylines this season, right? I was gonna do a poll on it. I didn't get a chance. But before we wrap up, I do want to talk about Randall for a little bit, right? If you just joined, we did talk about my predictions. Now we're just having some conversations, kind of stemming from the last prediction, like whether or not the Knicks will make it to the Eastern Finals. I say that the Knicks is guaranteed. I don't see us doing nothing less. Can we do more? Yes. But I got us as nothing less than that. So hold on. Let me just double check this. Let me see. Filters. Oh, by the way, did y'all see Evan Fournier? He's going to be overseas. Yeah, no more Evan Fournier in the NBA. He signed a deal overseas. I didn't get a chance to do the pod. But those of you guys wondering about the pod, as you can see tonight, if you've been watching the stream since the beginning, the first stream got cut off. So I had to reboot it. I've been having crazy computer issues. Let me see if I got it right quick. Paul George, Stephen Curry, Olympic roster, Olympics. Oh yeah, here we go. I got it, guys. Hold on. Let me just copy and paste it. I want to know if you guys agree with this, because I'm like, what are they talking about? Like, is it that the outside media? Because Bleacher Report is not technically old media, though they do got some old media guys there. But when we look at this right here, right? Zach Buckley. Zach Buckley. Let's look who Zach Buckley is. How long he's been there? Is this an OG? Looks like a young guy. Don't know who Zach Buckley is. He's a hoops junkie. Okay, so he's probably new media, right? These guys, I feel like, are just trying to figure out things to write, because we're waiting for the NBA season. Football starting tomorrow, right? So some of these storylines is kind of wacky, right? I mean, I do agree with Boston, the KP's health. the Hawks, his future. I agree with that. These are the top storylines. He did it for all 30 teams. Brooklyn Nets liquidation. These are on the money, right? LaMelo Ball's redemption arc. Okay, I'm gonna scroll down to the Knicks, y'all. Let's get to the Knicks. Because my thing is, some of these stories. All right, look, I agree with this. Look at Milwaukee Bucks, now or never, right? But with the Knicks, where is this coming from? Julius Randle's fit. This is the biggest storyline. And I'm like, he says by accolades and per game averages, Randle stands out as a top 2 player on the Knicks. So why does the 3-time All-Star feel almost absent from the Knicks championship plans? Is Julius Randle absent from the championship plans? Right? Maybe it's because he was absent from the stretch run, shows an injury that knocked down late in January, 30 play by that Hami Haikaz dude, right? And yet still looms a big piece of the puzzle. New York badly needs the second shot creator to extend their playoff run. Hold on. So if the Knicks badly need a second shot creator to extend the playoff run, right? How is there a question mark to his fit? Are we really questioning Julius Randle's fit? Really? Like, is that really it? Like, are we really questioning whether or not Julius Randle fits? Like, what are these guys talking about? And then look, when you look at some of his other predictions, his other storylines, this was on the money. Honestly, if he would have said New York Knicks, Julius Randle's future, that would be a better storyline than his fit, because Julius Randle is on the last year of his contract. So he could have just copied this same one he did for the Pelicans. I agree with that. Timberwolves clearing the last. Some of these storylines are good. It's just that when they get to the Knicks, man, I don't know, man. Like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. Do you guys get it? Do you guys, get what he's trying to say there? Wow, Knicks will be champs. Said Miami is a bigger problem than Milwaukee. Really? Oh, I don't know about that one. I don't know. I guess if Miami is healthy for the first time ever and they're hitting at all cylinders, I could see that. I could see that. Let's see. OG will take Middleton's lunch money. That's a fact. That's a fact. Big fact. And Mikal Bridges too. Joe says good. Fournier belongs overseas. Knicks would be champs. Right. He fits just fine on New York. I don't understand. What is this talk about Julius Randle not fitting? Like, I had to talk to you guys because I know you guys will get me right. I'm thinking I'm bugging right now. I read this whole article, by the way, right? Because I read sports news all day. So I'm like, okay, all the other teams was good. Then I get eager to scroll down to the Knicks because I feel like I know they're going to mess it up. And it's like, he talks about Randle's absence, right? When he got the shoulder injury, but he didn't talk about the 12-1, the 12-2 run with him, Brunson, and OG. He didn't bring that up. How do you just conveniently leave that out? I guess because it kind of would hurt your puzzle point, but you still made the point, and it didn't really. I don't know. I just don't think that's the storyline. I'd rather him say, Julius Randle contract extension. What happens with that? Like, that's the storyline. If you want to make up a storyline and not give us credit and say, oh yeah, Knicks Eastern Conference Finals bound, I don't know, some other storyline we could have had, the Nova boys take over. I think the people who are questioning Julius Randle fit, y'all don't really watch Knick basketball, right? No Knick fan, even the guys that want them to get traded, I'm not going to say no Knick fan, I'm going to say most level-headed Knick fans do not question Julius Randle's fit. There might be other questions, but his fit, come on, stop it. Gotta knock that off. We have Mikal Bridges with Julius Randle. They are bugging. They talk. Hey, facts. They do. I'm with you. They talk out of their butts with the New York Knicks. I'm with you, Joe Curry. He said the refs are from Miami. That's the problem. Oh my God, that's funny. Randall role as a help defender, rebounder will be crucial this season. Facts. See, not only his rebounding, his assist. He can also make plays. And that's something that we struggled with when Brunson left the floor. You know, you didn't really have Deuce tried. Dante is not really a creator like that. Dante is like a really an off the ball guard. Right? I thought Dante could play a little point guard. But you know what? You know who I wouldn't mind seeing play point guard if like something happens to Deuce or Kolik's not ready? I think Josh Hart could play a little point guard. How y'all feel about that? Josh Hart getting a little bit more responsibility running the show at the one. I think Josh Hart can do it. I think Josh Hart might be a better candidate. You know, I'm saying, I know we got campaign. Don't kill me, guys. I'm just saying, you know, Tibbs wants to run a short rotation. It's the playoffs. Try Josh Hart. I mean, hey. But I do think, though, to bring it back to Randall, that second playmaker is key. And I hope, you know, there's more consideration from, you know, Coach Tibbs to stagger the lineups. Brunson comes out, Randall's in. You know, that's typically what most teams do. You know, that Milwaukee has to do that because another point to add to what we were talking about with Joe and Knicks will be champs. Giannis and Dame Lillard are incompatible. They already had a training camp, technically, right? So can't even say, oh, they need another training camp. And then I'm not even sure who's on Doc Rivers' staff. That's the offensive mastermind. I don't know the staff. Maybe they might have somebody. But they're going to really need somebody to craft the offense because if you got a power forward who dives and makes plays from the top of the key, and you have Dame Lillard, who's a point guard that needs the ball to be effective, how does that work? See, the thing with the Knicks and Randall, because we're talking about Randall's fit now, right? Randall doesn't have to bring up the ball. In fact, a lot of us don't want to see Randall bring up the ball because some people still call him handle. And they talk about the spin moves into the double teams, right? But, you know, Randall doesn't have to, you know, bring up the ball. Giannis is like a point center. So it's like the incompatibility issues. You know, maybe they should have kept Drew Holiday. But, yeah, that's their problem. Yes, Josh Hart is a point guard, small forward. Okay. So, you're not killing me for the Josh Hart point guard reference, right? Randall and Brunson don't even have to play together for long stretches. While Brunson, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Stagger the lineups. I'm with you, Knicks will be champs. Definitely stagger the lineups. And I do think we're going to see some Randall at the 5 as well. Doc Rivers has one glaring flaw in his coaching. The flaws that he's coaching in the NBA. Oh, my God. Wow, Doc gets a bad rap. Hey, you know, I can't be a Doc defender, but I mean, Doc he's definitely blown 3-1 leads. I don't want to put it on Doc, but that team was hitting all cylinders, and then Doc took over, and it kind of felt, you know, the ship kind of sunk. And then Giannis did get hurt later, but it's just I don't know, man. I think that we got to give Doc a training camp. We got to give Doc a training camp, just to be fair. But how also Brian Windhurst's comment too. Do I need to put that on the screen? I didn't understand Brian Windhurst talking about Randall's contract was tradable. I didn't get a chance to talk about that on the pod. I was thinking about leading with that story too. Let me see if I got that here. When Brian Windhorst was talking about his contract was Randall's contract is extraordinary tradable. Like, you know what? I talked about this 2 pods ago. It's like, yo, these guys are trying divide and conquer tactics, man. Like they're really trying to separate teams based on narratives, right? We see it with Boston. My thing is like, okay, he has an extraordinary tradable contract with a $29 million salary, right? I'm just trying to understand, you know, what's the purpose of saying that? I'm not sure if you read this. I don't even want to go through the whole article. I mean, it's pretty much the comment is really the highlight. To me, it was like, duh, like, okay, his contract is tradable. But you know what's funny about this too? I remember when Randall first signed the contract, a lot of people thought it was a lot of money, even though he sacrificed $80 million because he was worth his extension, I think, was similar to what the number is now, or 5 years around 180 or something like that. But then, right, the year, remember the bad year he had, the 20-10 year, right? When Knicks didn't make the playoffs, that was the bad year. Remember that? By the way, if a lot of these other guys had a 20-10 year, they would be praised, right? But Randall has the 20-10 year, and he was knocked. Hey, Randall's a great player. 20-10 is not a good mark. Okay, cool. Either way, it bigs up Randall. But look, so I remember that year, right? People were saying how Randall's contract was not tradable and it was a bad contract. It's just funny to see how now it goes from that to this. This is why it's like when people make statements like this, I mean, I think I posted this on Twitter or I posted this in the Discord. I said, duh. His contract is extremely tradable. And we know guys like teams like the Warriors or Minnesota, right? They're looking to shed salary. So his contract coming off the books, that's a great value for a lot of teams, especially if you're trying to dig yourself out of a luxury tax scenario, right? So, but at the same time, I mean, what's the purpose of saying it now? Right? I mean, I just didn't understand the logic. I just felt like it was duh. Right? And then, because like I said, when you read the articles, any article that talked about it, I mean, okay, he's movable. But we know that we've got other reports saying that the Knicks are not looking to move, uh, Julius Randle, right? Especially because, look, and I'm going to get out of research mode. Especially when, like, he has to show you something, right? Like, he has to show you that he's either valued at his contract desire. We don't even know if that's his contract desire, so you can't even say that. But is he worth the max, the 4-year 181, right? He's coming off shoulder surgery. Playoffs. A lot of you guys question the playoffs, right? It's just it doesn't make sense to move Randall without looking at a little more. Even if you get to the trade deadline, right? You see what we'll see what he's producing. And then you decide whether you could trade him. You don't have to. I mean, you might catch a team slipping. It could be beneficial they're trading a guy before the deadline, right? Because you might catch a team slipping. But at the same time, you could do that same deal over the summer. And we don't even know if Randall is even thought about being shopped, right? I mean, yes, we knew the fireworks would come in August, whether he signed or not. I thought he was going to sign. I was wrong. But, I mean, what are we, like, why are we trying to, create these narratives to take Randall away from what we're trying to build with these Noble boys and Bridges and, Mitchell Robinson's contract is going to be due up soon too. So you don't really see these narratives with none of these other guys. It's only Julius Randle, as if they're trying to take him away from the group and isolate him and target him. I feel like the media are now beginning to target Randall, right? And questioning his fit to me is crazy. I mean, we haven't even played a game yet. And we saw what he, OG, and Brunson did. Literally, like the last little sample size we had of those three guys playing together, it looked fantastic. It wasn't like the last 14 games they played together, it was bad. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Every single contract is tradable. What they don't realize is that the team Chase Randall is going to be on the hook for his contract. Yeah, but you know what? Knicks will be champs. I hear what you're saying about the every contract being tradable. Yes, technically. I don't think Karl Anthony Towns' contract is tradable. I think that some contracts are just not tradable. I don't think no one wants to take that $65 million. I mean, $51 million. His last year will be $65 million. I'm not sure if there's an option on that. But even if it is an option on that, he's going to opt in. But look, the thing about Randall contract is you could see a team trading for Randall and not wanting him to walk. Like they're taking him because they want to free up money. Like that's a way to try to get under the apron. Like so you might get a team like the Warriors, for an example. And I'm not saying it's smart, but you might have a team that wants to rebuild or wants to reorganize their finances. So they're looking for a big contract to let go. Now, is Randall that guy? To me, no. I'm just saying you might have a wacky team that's willing to do it, like a Utah or somebody like that. Because Utah already got they got a crazy amount of bigs, right? So maybe they want to start over with, I don't even know who they got, but maybe they want to start over and they're willing to let Randall walk in the offseason and they want to get rid of some of these contracts, right? So yeah, you just don't know. Oh, Joe Curry. I was gonna do a poll on Brooklyn, right? I decided not to do it because I don't really care about Brooklyn like that. But and when I say Brooklyn, I'm not talking about the actual borough. I'm talking about the Nets. But the Nets is right now as we speak. The Nets is the only team that has money to possibly get 2 max contracts. They definitely could get 1 max contract, free agent. So the Nets could technically steal Randall away from us. Technically, right? They draft Cooper Flag. They draft another good kid. They make a trade for Donovan Mitchell or Garland or something like that. Then they say, hey, we're going to sign Julius. They can do that. The Nets have all the money in the world because I think Ben Simmons' contract comes off. I think Cam Johnson, I could pull it up, but the Nets definitely have money. So, yeah, that's a great point. But I don't really care about the Nets. Hell yeah, Randall would be a good fit. Man, listen, Randall will not only be a good fit in Brooklyn, he'll be a good fit anywhere. That's only if New York's willing to play ball with those teams. New York isn't a salary dump location. Well, but the Knicks might say, and Utah's not really a good example. Trying to think of a good example. A team that has a lot of salary, but they want to get rid of salary. The Pelicans, they could look to get rid of Ingram, right? So Pelicans would say, yo, we'll take Randall back. We'll give you Ingram because they don't want to pay Ingram, right? They don't want to pay Randall. They'll let Randall walk. But maybe they'll try to convince Randall to take less, right? I don't really have an example, but there are teams that would want to absorb salary and let it go. Sort of like, all right, Randall is not that guy because he's an All NBA All Star, but and I can't think of a team that would do that right now. But Bojan, what the Knicks did with Bojan and Burks, right? They took that salary and Burks walked, and Bojan was pretty much trade bait. But they also could have let Bojan walk too, right? So let's say the Knicks would have had picks or something like that, and they would have drafted good wing players, right? And they say, oh, we don't want Bojan and Burks, they're old. We want to move with the new. They could just let them walk. right? Clear their cap holds and move forward like that. So teams do trade contracts to try to, free up money. I'm not saying Randall is that though, but I'm saying he could be. If Brooklyn is going after Randall, Flag, and trade for De'Aaron Fox, now they don't have nothing to trade for Fox. Is Fox a free agent? I don't think they have nothing to trade for Fox. If you ask me, I'm gonna pull up Fox's contract. I don't think they could do it. Let's see. Um, Darren Fox. I'm looking at it on the back end. I don't think they could. I don't. Let me see. And he's getting paid too, right? Trying to find his contract. So his current contract. Oh, he has a 2-year deal. I don't know. Are the Kings? Are the Kings? I don't think the Kings are going to trade Fox, man. He's only 26 years old. His contract is nice too. $34 million, $37 million. I guess you don't want to re-up in 2027, but I don't know. Cam Johnson and Cam Thomas, they could do that. But do the Kings need that though? The Kings need De'Aaron Fox. I don't think that would be the guy I would trade. I mean, maybe what's the small maybe the Keegan Murray or something like that. But I don't know if you trade Fox. Oh, you said the Kings have 3 other point guards? Let me pull up the Kings right quick. Let me pull up the Kings. You said the Kings have 3 other point guards. I'll go into research mode for you, just to have fun with this, because we pretty much done the predictions. Right now, we just talking off the cuff. Definitely going to wind down soon, but I'm still curious to see, what guys are talking about. I haven't really did like I said, my NBA projections just yet. He said they got 4 point guard. Let me see. Devin Carter. He's a rookie. Don't know nothing about him. Jordan McLaughlin. He's all right. I think I seen this kid. Yeah, Jordan McLaughlin. He's small though, but he wasn't bad. He wasn't. When he got minutes, he just don't get no time. But I'm not moving. You know, Fox. So for this kid, let me see. They got Kobe Jones. Kobe Jones has some promise, right? In college, but he was a 2nd-round pick. I don't know. You say they got guards. They ain't got no point guard, man. They only got Keon Ellis. I don't think Keon Ellis is a point guard. He's all right though. I like Keon Ellis, but I'm not gonna move on from Fox for Keon Ellis. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know about the rookie Devin Carter. He could be nice. He went to South Carolina. Didn't really hear nothing about him. I could click him though. Wait, hold on. I did see South Carolina play. He's a 1st-round pick. Yeah, I did. I just don't remember this kid, but I did see South Carolina play. Now that I think about it, but I'm not moving Fox though. Like you talking about Fox is a multiple-time All-Star, man. That's not the guy to move, if you ask me. And you just got DeRozan. I don't know. Let me see. They drafted one after trading Davion. So you talking about this kid here? Then you talking about the kid I just read off, Devin Carter. You think Devin Carter is nice? Monk is not a point guard. Carter will be the PG of the future, but yeah, he's the PG of the future. But right now, they trying to win a championship, bro. You need Fox, man. You need Fox. And this kid is coming off of shoulder surgery. I see it right here. Devin Carter, Kings. July 12th, 2024. He been successful. He had a torn labrum. Oh, you said next year. Okay, Joe. Yeah, but I don't know what they. Let me see. But the Kings ain't spending no money, yo. Kings ain't spending no money like that. They got 40 million on Sabonis, 34 on Fox. That's it, really. DeRozan's making $23 million. DeRozan's contract is actually tradable. Let me see. When's his contract expired? Let me see. DeMar DeRozan, his contract. Oh, did I pass it? No, I did. Sorry, DeMar DeRozan's contract. Oh, okay. DeRozan has a tradable contract too. I mean, because he's productive. He's only making $25 million. Yeah, you can move DeRozan. They can move DeRozan again too if they needed to. But I think the Kings are going to be interesting. Let me see what DeRozan shot from three. See, that's going to be the only issue. If DeRozan's not knocking down the three ball, I think that's going to be an issue. Let me see. DeRozan was shooting 33% from three. Yeah, he's only attempting 3 threes a game. That's not going to get it. That's not going to get it. But he's clutch though. You know, he was runner-up for clutch player of the year. And he was third clutch player of the year, and he was an all-star last year. So, and he did average 24 a game though. But he gonna have to start knocking down that three ball though more. I tell you that much. But I hear you, Joe Curry. I hear you. I hear you. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, man. But that's all I got for you guys, man. Yo, great show, man. Definitely was a pleasure rocking with you guys. You know, we overcame computer issues. And just salute to you guys, man. Oh, I lost my soundboard. Soundboard disappeared. This is crazy. But salute to you guys for tuning in, man. Rocking with me. Salute to Joe Curry. Salute the Knicks will be champs. 25-26. That man has the best YouTube name on the streets. Salute the coach making an early appearance. Salute to Vincent Johnson. Hopefully, if you guys are new to the channel, hopefully you subscribe to the channel. We're closing in on that 1,000 subscriber mark. Definitely help the channel get there. Tell a friend, tell a friend. Salute to the Knicks 100 who also tapped in. Salute to my man Sam, probably just listening. Salute to my man Sam. Salute to all the people that's listening and not chatting. And thank you for this conversation, man. Thanks again, Joe. Thank you for providing the great commentary. I really do appreciate you guys. I'm looking to drop some more short videos in between the lives. Hopefully, if nothing goes wrong, I will be back for This Week Inside the New York Knicks. Only difference is it might be pre-recorded, the pod, but I definitely should have it for you Monday. You know, it's not a holiday, nothing crazy. So hopefully as long as my computer acts right, you will get the pod this Monday. So, but that's all for this pod, man. And until next time, y'all, let's go Knicks.